Imagine waking up before dawn, boots on, coffee in hand, ready to work the land your family has farmed for generations. The fields are your legacy, your future, your security. Then, in a single morning, the news hits. Your biggest customer is gone. The market has collapsed. Surrounded by crops worth millions, you realize they might now be worthless. The phone stays silent. The grain elevator posts prices so low, it's almost a joke. This isn't just economics, it's personal. The rules changed overnight, and you had no say. You start doing the math, the loans, the mortgage, the promises to your family. The numbers don't work anymore. The weight is crushing. Helplessness, anger, and the fear of losing everything built over generations. For thousands of American soybean farmers, this was reality. One day, they were feeding the world. The next, they were fighting for survival. This is the story of that fight, a story of hardship, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of the American farmer. Even when the ground shakes, that spirit refuses to break. How do you lose your #1 customer overnight? It wasn't a disaster, it was a decision. The US and China had a mutually beneficial trade relationship. They needed our soybeans, we needed their business. Then came tariffs. The US imposed taxes on Chinese goods. China retaliated, targeting American soybeans. Suddenly, our beans were too expensive for China. The market slammed shut. Farmers had planted for a demand that vanished mid-season. Crops piled up, unsold. Meanwhile, Brazil and Argentina ramped up production, stepping in to fill the void. They signed new contracts, built new infrastructure, and took over the market we'd spent decades building. In months, America lost its reputation as the world's most reliable supplier. The trade war didn't just hurt farmers. It handed our competitors the keys to our most valuable market. That's how you lose your biggest customer. Trade wars aren't just numbers, they're people's lives. Soybean prices crashed. Farmers sold at a loss or couldn't sell at all, storing crops and hoping for a miracle. The stress was relentless. Financial ruin, sleepless nights, and a sense of failure for something beyond their control. Mental health suffered. The suicide rate among farmers, already high, spiked. I spoke to a fourth-generation farmer who had to tell his son there might not be a farm to come back to. That pain was everywhere. These weren't just business losses. They were blows to identity, legacy, and community. Farmers faced impossible choices. Media: for sale sign on farmland, farmer meeting with banker, woman looking out at family farm with concern sell land, take on more debt, or tell their kids to leave the farm. The real cost wasn't measured in bushels or dollars, but in broken dreams and families pushed to the brink. The crisis forced farmers to question everything they'd built. It was a quiet epidemic of despair echoing across rural America. But even in the darkest times, the fight to hold on never stopped. A farm's pain ripples through the whole town. When farmers lose income, they stop spending. Equipment orders are canceled, local businesses struggle, and Main Street feels the pinch. The diner has fewer customers, the hardware store sells less, and the car dealership can't move inventory. Every lost dollar on the farm is a lost dollar for the community. Public services suffer. Schools cut programs, roads go unrepaired, emergency services stretch thin. The town's fabric frays, church donations drop, festivals are canceled, Little League teams lose sponsors. Young people leave, chasing opportunity elsewhere, accelerating decline. The soybean crisis wasn't just about crops. It was about the survival of entire communities. When farms falter, rural America falters. The health of the town is tied to the health of its farms. That's why this crisis mattered to everyone. As if trade wars weren't enough, farmers faced another enemy: extreme weather. Climate change isn't abstract for farmers. It's floods, storms, and unpredictable seasons that threaten everything. One year, floods delay planting. The next, storms flatten crops overnight. Insurance helps, but never covers the true cost or lost time. Planning becomes impossible. Shorter windows, lower yields, more risk. Meanwhile, Brazil and Argentina expand with longer growing seasons and more land, even as they face their own environmental costs. American farmers are squeezed by trade policy, climate, and global competition, a perfect storm. Grit and ingenuity keep them going, but grit alone isn't enough. The crisis exposed the urgent need for smarter policies, better risk management, and a long-term vision for American agriculture. Survival now means adapting to a world that's changing faster than ever. American farmers don't give up. They adapt. Diversification is key. Planting new crops, raising livestock, or going organic to find new markets and reduce risk. Technology is transforming farms. GPS-guided tractors, drones, and precision agriculture save money and boost yields. Soybeans are finding new uses: biofuels, plastics, even car seat foam. Farmers are working to open new export markets, building relationships beyond China. The goal: a balanced, resilient system that can weather any storm. But farmers can't do it alone. They need strong crop insurance, rural infrastructure, and stable trade policies. Government support isn't a handout, it's a level playing field. The trade war was a wake-up call. Survival means innovation, support, and never relying on a single market again. The future depends on smarter strategies and a united effort. That's how American agriculture survives and thrives. The soybean crisis left scars, but also sparked resolve. Farmers aren't wallowing, they're rebuilding, smarter and stronger. Diversification, innovation, and local markets are now priorities. Supporting farmers isn't partisan. It's about food security, the economy, and rural life. We need stable trade policies, climate research, and support for the next generation. Every spring, farmers bet on hope, planting seeds, facing uncertainty, and believing in the future. The crisis tested them, but didn't break them. They're still out there before dawn, boots on, ready to fight for a better tomorrow. They're planting more than soybeans. They're planting hope for us all. And that's a future worth fighting for.